Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to start a new series on logo design. In this series, I'll be taking a look at existing company logos and try and come up with an alternate design. Now, just because I cover one of the designs in this channel doesn't mean it's because it's bad. Sometimes I'll just have a neat idea and I'll just want to try it out. So by some incredible coincidence, you come across one of my videos and it features something that you've designed, please don't be offended. It's easy to critique other people's work after all. That being said, the first logo I'll be trying to redesign in this series is pretty bad, and that is Verizon's logo. On the left is the old one, and on the right is the new one they introduced a few years ago. Now, I do agree that the old logo needed some change. It's a bit busy. It has two red elements in here, the Z with a gradient that blends into the background, and also this checkmark looking thing. And this does not scale well. I've been with Verizon for a long time, and on the phones, when it's small and the things kind of blend into the background, it does not look great. Now, a few years ago, they've introduced this logo. I believe it was 2015. But the first thing that comes to mind is why? What is this? Is that a check mark? I don't like that the thickness of the check mark is way thinner than the other letters. It only comes down to the center. I mean, it just looks generic and bland. In fact, it reminds me of another company logo, which is that of Asiana Airlines. If you don't know what that looks like, it looks like this. Don't know what to say. Kumho tires, also the same thing. I guess they're owned by the same company, but it just looks soulless. And it just has no personality. These two companies are completely unrelated. They're in different industries, yet they share a same logo. And I just don't get it. And these are multi-billion-dollar companies, mind you. I mean, it must have cost them millions of dollars to redesign these logos and slap them on their existing inventory or new inventory, all their literature. I mean, this is a multi-million-dollar project to redesign a logo, and I just do not know why they chose this. Back to Verizon's logo. The old one, at least it kind of made sense to me, because for the longest time I thought Verizon meant or was a shortening of vertical and horizon. So I guess that's kind of like a vertical horizon. The actual meaning or the actual origin of the word comes from veritas and horizon. Veritas meaning truth. So I don't know why they chose that, but for me that kind of made sense. And this one, for me, it just does not. Anyways, let's jump right in and try and redesign this thing. Verizon is a telecommunications company, and back in the days, they used to do mostly telephone service. Of course, now as smartphones, we're using our phones differently than back in the days. We're using it mostly for apps and text messages. So data is a huge component of what Verizon is. And when I think of data, I think of servers. So I want to do something that resembles a server, but at the same time, I do want to preserve that V shape. So I'm going to start with a square. I'm going to copy that over here and on this side. And I'm going to turn it 45 degrees. And that's going to make our V. Now I do want to make this a little more three-dimensional. So I am going to flatten this so it looks like it has some perspective. If I drag this thing here, that's gonna just scale it. I don't want that. And one of the ways you can do it is just draw something that's like a rectangle on the back. Select all these, and then if you drag this down, you can see that everything flattens down with it. So I'm going to say that's pretty good. I'll delete this rectangle that I drew. And I'm going to scooch these up just a little bit and to the side. Now I'm going to copy this. If I press and hold Alt while dragging this, you see the cursor changes, and I can just drag this whole thing down and it'll make a copy. I'm going to make this red. Now that's a little too red. I do want to make it a little bit darker. If I press I, that's the shortcut for the eyedropper, and I can sample one of these colors. All right. Let's curve these edges. If you press A or the direct selection tool, you can see that there are these little white dots. If you drag these down, you can curve the edges like so. Like that. And I want to connect these so it looks like a box. For that, I'm going to use a blend tool, but before that, I am going to change the color of this bottom part. So when I blend it, it looks like it has a gradient. I'll just make it darker, just like that. And I'm going to send it to, or I'm going to send it behind this lighter red box. If you press Control Shift and the left bracket, it's going to send it all the way to the back. It's the same as doing right click and then arrange and send to back. As you can see, it says Shift Control left bracket. Okay, so now let's blend this. I'm going to select the blend tool and I'm going to click on one of these shapes and then the other. As you can see, it creates a smooth gradient. I'm going to do that to all of these objects. One more time. And there you go. Okay, now let's make the company name. I'm just going to keep it all in lowercase, just like how they did their logo. Oops. I think that's close enough. I'll put wireless down here. Make sure everything is centered. I'm going to group that and align it center. And maybe I want to separate these just a little bit more. Shrink it down so it matches the overall size better. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'll do one on the side so we can see what it looks like if it's horizontal. And maybe I'll do one with a black background to see what that looks like. Alright, so that's what it looks like. I think it's a lot better than the recent redesign. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like the video, please press like and don't forget to subscribe for future videos. Alright, thank you for watching.